seen a tiger in the wild? Here, I'm not talking about looking at a tiger at the Bannerghatta National Park or any of the zoos that you might have visited. I'm talking about looking at the tiger in the wild. India is unique and home to three of the biggest cats in the world. They are, of course, the tigers, lions, and leopards. Well, many of you may say Africa too has, but in Africa you have the lions, leopards, and the cheetah, and not the tigers living in the wild. Coming to India, our government's tigers conservation has paid very rich dividends. Just last week, the tiger census were taken and the camera trapped tigers counted up to 2,600 and odd individuals. That is a world record. And going away from India to the neighboring countries, that is the Southeast Asian countries, Indonesia has the Bali and Sumatran tigers, and Siberia, the biggest of them all, lives in Siberia. It is the biggest because it has thick coat to protect itself from the sub-zero temperatures of the cold of Siberia. Coming to India, tigers are well spread among the length and the breadth of India, that is from north to south and east to west. In the north, we have the Jim Corbett National Park of Uttar Pradesh and Kaziranga of Assam, Sundarbans bordering Bangladesh and West Bengal, and Ranthambore of Rajasthan, Bandhavgarh of Madhya Pradesh, Tadoba of Maharashtra, and coming to our state, we have many. The two of the most famous ones being the BTR, that is the Bandipur Tiger Reserve, and Kabini or Nagarahole Tiger Reserve, and the smaller ones being Anshi, Dandeli Tiger Reserves. And our neighboring state Kerala has Wayanad, and Tamil Nadu has Satyamangalam forest ranges. Let's learn some amazing facts of this magnificent beast. All tigers are not man-eaters. They become man-eaters only when they are too old to hunt or injured or their cannons being broken. And there is always a man and animal conflict happening because man always encroaches upon the forest. And if a tigress has given birth to her cubs, she is all the more ferocious and she will not tolerate any of the intrusions. One more amazing fact of a tiger is about its tongue. It is so thick, it can swipe off the flesh from the bones of its prey. And you must have seen tigers licking their bodies. It is the saliva of the tiger that acts like an antiseptic. And every tiger is individualistic. No two tigers are the same. Just like our fingerprints, their stripes are unique and different. That makes the census more easier. And when we talk about looking at in the darkness, a tiger can see 10 times more powerful. The eyesight is 10 times more powerful than a human being. And when it walks in the jungle, not a blade of the grass moves because it walks in stealth as the paws are completely padded. It is always like an ambush of the prey. Now coming to talking about man-eaters, when we talk about man-eaters, there is a place in India where all the tigers that live there are man-eaters. Here we are talking about the Sundarbans. It is a huge swamp, the delta region of the river Ganga bordering West Bengal and Bangladesh, which empties itself to the Bay of Bengal. All the tigers living here are man-eaters. That is because Sundarbans has many of the villages surrounding it, and every time there is monsoon or cyclone, most of the villages are killed and their dead bodies are washed up to the Sundarban swamp. And because of the soft clay, the tigers cannot run behind their prey, and these human bodies end up as a feast to the tigers. There are a lot of researches that is going on, and many of them say that because of the alkaline content in the water, that has made the tigers of Sundarbans man-eaters. But the villagers have to depend on the forest. Every time they venture into the forest, they wear a mask. That is a facial mask that covers the back of their head, because here they believe that a tiger always ambushes them from behind. To confuse the tiger, they wear a face mask that has a face at the back of their head. And they make a lot of noise when they venture with the drums and even holding a flaming torch. But if 10 of them venture into the forest, only 9 of them come out. One of them always falls a prey to the tiger. Such a difficult life, isn't it? And talking about one of the unique features, again last week the internet was agog with excitement, having sighted a beautiful golden tigress, one and only of its kind in the whole world. It looks golden because it has less of the black stripes and more of the orange and yellow coat. Amazing, isn't it? And let me share my experience. I love wildlife, and many a times I have this golden opportunity to be visiting Bandipur and Kabini. Just before the lockdown, I happened to visit Bandipur. In the safaris, normally what happens, the tiger doesn't come out because you are there. You'll have to be at the right place in the right time, and it is always a chance factor. Here, just 10 minutes into the safari, I saw a movement in the bushes, and I was surprised to see a tiger. He shied away from us, walked away. I was thrilled and sad. Thrilled because I could have a look at him, sad because it was not to my heart's content. Normally, the safari time is for 3 hours, so still I had hope that maybe we come across this tiger once again. And luck was about to happen. Our driver took a detour, and on the different track, we saw the same tiger walking on the middle of the road. It was such an exhilarating experience to see the tiger in the wild. Normally, all these big cats hunt very early in the mornings or late in the evenings, and the rest of the day they sleep under the shade of a huge tree. Probably he was looking for one too. So we had a safe distance from him, and we followed him for an hour. It was such a nice sight to see him walk, because he is the king of the jungle. Then he found a huge tree and a big shade. He went there and laid down for his afternoon siesta. We switched off the Jeep's engine and waited for him to wake up, because I wanted to see him walk. We waited for solid 2 hours, and at the end of the 2 hours he woke up because the sun was setting. He stretched his limbs. What a magnificent beast he was. He just walked across our Jeep and into the sunset. This is very important for us to know that we need to conserve the forest for these animals to thrive on. And India is the only country in the world where we have the maximum number of tigers living in the wild. So we need to conserve the forest. With that, all the mammals and the prey, the lesser known mammals and prey of the tiger, for the tigers to eat. This way, we need to conserve the forest. And let's conserve the forest. Once again, before I end my speech, let's conserve the forest along with all the animals and the birds who live there happily, calling it their home. Not for us, not for you, but for the future generation. Thank you.